Is it less fuzzy this week?
I wouldn't say it was ever fuzzy. I might have said the image was fuzzy, but the plays are rolling off good, and I feel good about the offense much better than last week.
Mike said he thought you were in command yesterday in 2 minutes. Did you have a similar feeling?
Yeah, we just got to get the refs back out there so we can get that call.
Did yesterday feel like things were clicking a little bit more for the offense? Like maybe that was a moment where the page was kind of turning?
Well, I mean, I think we've been clicking the last 3 or 4 days much better. Our defense, it's obviously we added a lot of pieces to it. Always early in camp with the pads going, the defense seems to have the upper edge, and then the second week it starts to turn a little bit. So I feel like we've been playing better the last week and a half.
Roman said that he really appreciated like working with you and learning and how to get better with you. What have you seen in him and just how he works and working to get better with you as a player?
I would say Roman, just like Cal, and really all our guys, they really care about it. I noticed that when they came out west, just to see their attention to detail and their willingness to learn. So Ro, I just got to get Ro out of his head a little bit, because I think he's such a good kid. He cares so much about whether it's my approval or he's doing it right, and he just got to trust himself because he's so damn talented. The more he can play free and not think out there, the better he's going to play. So the more he can just trust what he's got and then just go out and react, the better he's going to play.
Aaron, what excites you most about playing in this offense?
It's really the relationship with Arthur. To have a guy that we sat yesterday for like 2.5 hours, just talking ball. And it's not all like X's and O's. It's storytelling from time to time, but he's not a rigid guy at all. So anything ideas that I have or ideas that, some of the receivers are giving to me to give to him, everything is taken into consideration, which I really appreciate. And we're installing it. I mean, the last few days we've installed stuff that I've gone back and looked at from the past, or other guys have had similar ideas, because we have a little open forum in my room. Anytime you want to come in and suggest something or get on the same page about something, let me know, because I'll take it right to heart. But I'm just really enjoying him a lot as a person, and just the way he leads in front of the room, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
Have you offered any advice to Will now that he's kind of losing an opportunity in the preseason, most likely, and working his way back from injury?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It sucks for him for sure. But because he's had such a nice camp as a young player, and then watching him in mini camp and just seeing his, command of the offense. And then, but this year is a growth year for him. It's a year to watch and learn, and obviously better himself. This would just be a minor setback for him. It would have been great to see him get some live reps in the preseason, but I'm not sure when he's going to be back. Hopefully he's back in time to take maybe the second or third game. But either way, this is a year for him to grow and learn and get his body the way he wants to get it, and get ready to be the guy for a long time.
Aaron, would you want some reps in preseason? Is it something that you think there's some value for you with the new team?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting conversation. I think Mike and I will have that at some point. I don't think it's in the plan for me to play this week, but whatever Mike wants to do, I'm fully on board. If he wants me to go out there and play, I'll play. If not, then I won't. I've said a lot, with all due respect, then I can say whatever I want. Preseason football is not necessarily real football, because the defenses just don't do a whole lot, and the offenses don't either. So you go out there with a very limited playbook against the defenses playing one high zone, one high man, or two high zone. And there's not much pressure. There's oftentimes communication between the coaches about, hey, we're not going to pressure this week, or hey, we need to see a little bit of pressure. It's really about the operation. Now, that is where you can actually gain something from the preseason, is you got 40 seconds, right? There's a play clock out here, but it's not always adhered to. So you have 40 seconds to call the play, to get the line of scrimmage, to get us in the right situation, and to go out and do it. And I think there's something to be gained for that. But as opposed to kind of when I got in the league, I would say, there's less schematic stuff that you're going to see in the regular season.
Do you feel like you're at the chemistry building process with the receivers, and what goes into that both on and off the field?
Yeah, I mean, there's conversation, I think, is the most important thing. So talking through every issue. Art's done a nice job of allowing me to take some time in some of the meetings to kind of go through the film with the guys. And they all have position coaches, which is important to get coached up by the position coach. But, you know, as parents, right, sometimes you tell your kid a bunch of stuff and they only get it when somebody else says it, and you're over there like, I've been saying this forever. That's kind of how it is for a position coach sometimes. So they tell them the right thing all the time, but it might not be until they hear it from me or hear it from Art where it actually kicks in. And that's just the nature of life and our business. So it's good for me to speak up from time to time. And also you pull them aside in the locker room, pull them aside on the field, and then we've got our open forum in my room or one of their rooms after practice.
Aaron, were you trying to go to Wilson on that play, or did that coverage dictate that's where you throw the ball in 2 minutes? Like, were you looking to give them a chance?
That was a coverage dictated that one. Yeah.
Aaron,
You
you
mentioned that preseason football isn't real football. Are you able to kind of supplement that with the joint practices? Is that more of a benefit than preseason football?
Yes, I believe so for the
Why?
first
What
team.
is the difference?
Because teams are, especially most of the joint practices, I would say you're not going to play that team in the regular season, so they're less worried about showing things that they want to work on. And even though there usually are cameras there and it's filmed, they're less skittish about running the stuff they've been running all camp that they're going to try and do in the regular season against another team that you're not going to play in the regular season. So I've found those beneficial. As long as there's not a lot of fights, I think they're a good work day for the first team.
2 more guys, 2 more.
You're getting the right amount of work this camp as far as the reps. I think you've only had 1 day off. And you feel you're getting what you need.
I love that 1 day off. Yeah. Thank you, Mike, for that one. But we really got 2 days off if you look at it, because we got rained out that 1 day and did a walkthrough. So I feel good. You know, I'm not begging for off days, but anytime Mike wants to lighten my load, I won't complain.
Last one. Guys good?
Aaron, you mentioned that you opened your door for your teammates. Have you seen a lot of guys take advantage of that and feel comfortable coming to you with questions?
Yeah, I have. I think that's an important part of it, just letting those guys know that there's no dictatorship here. It's not Art's dictatorship or mine. It's we want to talk about all the issues and all the things you're seeing, and whether it's a text message or coming to my room and having a conversation, like those are invaluable times to get on the same page with the guys, because when I'm out there, I don't want anything to be left unsaid. So I'd rather hit it on the front end, and if then something comes out in practice, hit it on the back end instead of trusting it to get figured out on its own. So it's been a good process for us. Ben is the one that comes in the most. He doesn't really knock anymore, but that's Ben's personality.
How do you view the opportunity for more reps here?
Yeah, it's definitely not the way you want an opportunity to come to get more reps, but I've been preparing this whole time as if I am the guy getting the reps. So, really nothing's going to change other than me actually physically getting them now. So, I'm looking forward to the opportunity and getting out there and going to play football.
What has this opportunity been like for you? What's kind of just been your experience throughout this, training camp here?
Yeah, no, it's been a great opportunity. I feel like I've grown a ton. It's been challenging, and I feel like in those times, challenging times, like you learn a lot about yourself and you grow. And I feel like I felt myself improve in some different ways than normal necessarily. But I've really enjoyed just being around the guys and the team, the coaches. Like our culture here is really special. It's been really cool to be a part of and kind of experience Latrobe, and kind of have an off-campus camp and reap the residuals from that has been really cool. So I've really enjoyed that aspect of it.
What's been challenging for
you? Just being in a position where I'm not getting as many reps as I have in years past. And that's it's just a different dynamic to it. There's different ways to continue to stay on top of your stuff and still get those reps. And that's the biggest challenge for me up to this point has been getting mental reps. And even though if I'm not the guy out there, still getting the rep and learning from whatever I can learn from, even though I'm not the guy necessarily in there getting the actual reps. So that's been just an adjustment, something different than kind of what I've experienced in the past. But like I said, I feel like I've gotten the most out of that and have been still improving and getting better from those reps, whether if it's me in there or not.
Skyler, you were the first to sign. Do you feel like you've got a good grasp? That you had enough time with Arthur's offense to kind of a good feel what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, I feel like too, coming into this system, there's some carryover and some terminology that I had in my offense in Miami that kind of helped me pick up on the system. And it's not necessarily all brand new stuff, and at the end of the day, I mean, football's football, and a lot of these concepts that we have here, I've ran in my past, just have different names for them or different tags, whatever the case may be. So it's just reprogramming your mind a little bit and kind of getting the new stuff to stick. And I think, like I said, having some similarities from my past offense to this one kind of helped make that transition for me.
Have you talked to Will? How is he handling the setback?
Yeah, I reached out to Will yesterday just to see how he was doing, and he's a good kid. He's a strong-minded individual, and I know that he's gonna make the most of this time. It's an unfortunate deal. It's a freak accident, and it's unfortunate. Never want that to happen to anyone, and so. He's going to get the most out of this time, though, and not take any steps back for sure.
Did you see exactly what happened?
No, I didn't.
You go from not getting a lot of reps to potentially playing for a half tomorrow. Like, how do you prepare yourself for, that extended amount of playing time in a short amount of practice?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I feel like mentally I've been doing the work already, and I know this playbook. I know what my job is to do and how to execute what they're asking me to do on every play. So it's just, for me, just banking on my past, like, even though I may have not, haven't got as many reps this camp, like, I have a lot of reps built up in my career in my lifetime that for me is just banking on those and trusting my muscle memory that my body knows what to do, and just trust my reads, trust my decision making, and letting the ball rip and don't hesitate, and that's going to be my mindset going into it.
You mentioned that you have the familiarity with some of the same concepts from playing in Miami. How have you seen some of those, Arthur and Mike McDaniel kind of come from a similar tree with a lot of the Shanahan kind of stuff. How have you seen those concepts permeate through the NFL? What are some of the signature components of this offense?
Yeah, I definitely think, Arthur has established some of those concepts and terms in this system, but also Arthur has kind of branched off and, he has his own flavor to it, which I think is really cool. And he's very open to, the players and what hits our brain. He's not super stuck on calling something this or calling something that. It's kind of what the players want, and I think that's a really cool, perspective that he has for this offense. And it's constantly just grooming it. It's never like this is just one set in stone. This is, install 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is what it is every single time. It's like, as we kind of go, we've added some things, we've adjusted some things that have kind of popped up in practice that we feel like, maybe we can, run this route instead of this. This kind of looks better. Let's see what it looks like, type thing. He's just very open-minded to the players and especially the quarterbacks, and I think that's been really cool to be a part of.